am Daniel's grandfather on his mother's side. My name is Barry Morgan. I live in Lewisburg, North Carolina. Originally from Wales, and I have an Aunt Faye who back in the 70s, she and some friends of hers did a family tree, and that's about all I remember about it, is that we originated in Wales. Well, actually only to my grandparents. I really didn't know anybody before them, and my mother's father was Alsey Murray, and he was born in the late 1890s, and his wife, my mother's mother, died when she was a small child, so don't really know anything about her. My father's parents, his daddy was Henry Columbus Morgan, which I called Daddy Bunk, and he was born in 1900, and his wife, my grandmother, was Bessie Morgan, and I called her Mama Bessie. They were Daddy Bunk and Mama Bessie, and they died they were both about 75 years old when they died, when they passed away. And my mother's father, who I called Papa, he was in his early 80s when he passed away. Yes, my father, his name was James Wilbur Morgan, and by the way, I'm Barry James, and Daniel is Daniel James, all named after my father. But he was in the 82nd Airborne. He said the first time he went up in a plane, he had to jump out of it. My Uncle Darnell, real close to my mother, and he died in the war. And my Uncle Woodrow was in the Army. Uncle Darnell was in the Army, and Uncle Woodrow come home, and Uncle Benny, who's like a brother to me because he's less than a year older than I am, he was in the Navy. But that's all that I can remember at this time anyway. Yes, only Bibles, old Bibles, and their family members have them. I do not have one. They do. Some of them do cover further back, but again, I don't have it, and I just can't remember. But that's the only record that we have. Well, we grew up in an era that the 1950s and then the 60s is, and I was a teenager, but we grew up in an era where people were basically poor. They had food and clothes, but we didn't travel, we didn't go play, we didn't buy new cars, we didn't do a lot we never had that kind of money. My dad used to tell me the story about how he was a teenager and he come out and he asked my Daddy Bunk, my granddaddy, his daddy, said, I sure would like to have $5. And my Daddy Bunk never slowed down. He said, me too. And it was probably true. He probably didn't have $5, or at least not $5 to give a teenage boy. But everybody lived like that. Some were on farms and had maybe more to eat, and some were not. But we were all, big difference than it is today. But I met your grandmother in high school, and here she is now. This is my wife, Darnell, Daniel's grandmother, and we got married in '66, and we didn't have a whole lot, so I still had to finish school in a few months. So we moved in with Daddy Bunk and Mom Bessie, and they put us in the front of the house, which had no heat, and it was not bad for a young married couple, but it was cold. But we stayed with them, and I'm glad we got the opportunity to stay with them, because Darnell got to really know them well and love them, and they're just like grandparents, just like my grandparents. They're the same. And then at Christmas we moved out. We moved in with my mother and my sister in Raleigh, which was a little easier. And I had a job in Raleigh at Hardee's, and I'd go to school and then come back and work. And then summertime come, and we went off to Maryland, where my dad had a business, and I worked with him and could make a little more money. And again, talking about the difference in times, never had any money. I mean, it was just, you just made it day to day. And then we come back from there and moved in with her parents, and we had all these people who were feeding us and helping us, giving us a place to sleep and taking care of us while I went to college. And Darnell went back to school and finished school, and we stayed with her parents a couple of years, and went to Maryland in the summer to work, and made enough money that we bought our first house, which was a 40 by 12 trailer, but it was ours, and it was we enjoyed it, and it was a good life. And we moved to Maryland. When I got out of college, we moved to Maryland, and I made more money up there, and life was a little bit better for us up there. We had more things, we could do more things, but then we decided to come home because we wanted to raise our children up here, not up there in Maryland. We come home, and I truly believe the Bible says the Lord has a path for every child of His, and we're all God's children. And I didn't know it, but that was the path that I was supposed to be on. And I started at minimum wage, but I ended up creating a new division in the company, and I became the boss, and the Lord just blessed us, and as a result, our family was blessed, our children, and we've been able to, help our grandchildren and do things, and it's a different, everybody today has a lot of everything. We got a lot of junk, we got a lot of stuff, and we didn't used to live like that. It was the basic stuff that was important back then, and it's an easier life today, no doubt about it, but I wouldn't take anything for the way we were raised, and that's our story. That's, and now we got our grandson Daniel sitting here videoing us and having us tell all about it. So.
Oh, Daniel, you're going to hug us before you get through.
Love you, boy.